But let's see how it goes. Green flags on both sides, but thank God it's not a mirror matchup as we hop into Canal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here on game number 3. This is match point right now. Marine Lord potentially going to be taking out this series in this game as the villagers begin marching their way towards the center of the map. It's docks up on both sides here, KP.
And the key here is how deep you want to go with the docks, right? Like, so a Delhi player might want to get super aggro because he can get the fishing boats out and pew-pew, but that does mean that the Ottoman player might have an advantage on dropping the racks. So instead, what do? Marine Lord brings out 2, instantly builds up both. I think the difference is that Lucifron can afford a delay because he'll eventually have 2 racks at the same cost as what Marine Lord is expending here.
Yeah, that's interesting that you note that. Yeah, so 150 plus the 150 compared to 100, 100, 100. So, yeah, there's some pretty significant investments coming down. Let's take a look at the base of Marine Lord. Obviously, playing the Delhi Sultanate, he's going to have access to a couple of unique buildings. The mosque could come up. I mentioned earlier that it cost 150 wood. That's not the case. I think it's only 100 wood that you're going to be paying for a mosque. So he could also be looking for that as an option. Instead of picking up a second barracks early on, he could just be like, well, I'm just going to grab some heals and I'm going to grab some faster production.
Yeah,
and you can see him stacking that up now.
I feel like a lot of the time the players kind of prioritize the mosque last, right? Because you need to get the lumber camp up eventually. You're also now pushing fishing boats and you're also pushing spears. It's like, in an ideal world, yes, but it's just so much wood at that point, right? So I think we've seen it. A lot of the times we've actually seen the players drop a mosque just before they start teching up even.
Right, okay. I guess the other thing to note is you're also looking for potential outposts. You mentioned sneaking outposts through as a way that they can look to gain an advantage.
Now, one advantage that Marine Lord can get here, right, we talked about the wood difference in this expenditure, but then there's a kind of flip side where because Marine Lord has the fishing boats, Lucifron might feel encouraged to drop palisade walls, which will cost him wood in return. It kind of evens up the distance a little bit.
Okay, all right. Well, let's watch and see how it plays out. Keep in mind that Lucifron, despite playing the Ottomans and having access to the military school here, has avoided going into it. It's a huge investment for him to go early on. So you'd expect to see it maybe towards the middle of feudal, if you're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, we've had
early
games
on,
where
it's just going to be barracks.
Like, we've had games where they've just had a whole proxy base here, and then at home, like, you know, maybe 10, 12 minutes in, they just spam all the military schools they can on a delay. It's kind of wacky how your perception of this Civ changes with these 12 villager starts and this unlimited spear spam.
Yeah, I guess the reduction, like the barrier to entry for producing spears is just so much lower because of the cheaper the cheaper barracks, right? So it just makes sense to really go crazy with it.
It's that logic that, you know, if you'd done this in a normal game, folks, I wouldn't advise doing the double racks immediately because you couldn't sustain it. You haven't got enough villagers. You start with 12 here.
Yeah.
You can afford this.
All right, well, we see Lucifron moving out 2 of his own villagers towards that enemy side of the map. Could be looking to drop an outpost, begin building a foothold over here.
Oh, man.
Spear numbers are looking pretty solid. In fact, he's outnumbering Marine Lord at this point, 9-7.
But not fully, right? Like, 'cause he's on the defensive. He should have, like, more troops here. So Lucifron's kind of, like, chugging them in, right? He wants to wait maybe another 30 seconds before a big fight happens. Marine Lord, he needs to find a way of forcing this now, right? While the outpost is not high in health, so he can instantly torch it. Ooh, Molly's
Scout
in.
going down immediately, and he almost gets the outpost. It gets cancelled at the last second. Lucifron going to be able to save a little bit of wood there. You can see the fishing boats from Marine Lord just looming, looking to try and get a way in on this stab war.
And that was pretty gluttonous from Lucifron. Like, usually you'll see maybe one tile further back for the first outpost and then a second afterwards because of these fishing boats. But Lucifron feels confident. He feels the numbers to his advantage, so he pushes it to the limit. And you can see Marine Lord, he is at his limit here. He's not pushing more spearmen right now. He's starting to get outnumbered.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit worrisome for him. Some nice micro in there from Marine Lord. We did see him bring forward a spear to take out an enemy spear, but immediately lost his own spear. As a result, we see those spears diving in. Just got to be careful of those fishing boats. So the fishing boat's looking for it, and the outpost gets cancelled again.
I think he lost the wood there. He was down to 69.
You think he'll...
Which is a great number, but...
Yeah.
Ugh. So this is what I wanted to do originally, right? You see Lucifron's finally accepted that Marine Lord is... Yeah, he should know. Marine Lord's not a pushover. He's not going to let that go up for free. So you have to be further back like this. And I believe that was an auto aggro from the Spearman. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can afford it.
A little bit.
Look how many he's got.
Dome of the Faith now going to be coming up from Marine Lord. Let's take a look inside the base while we wait to see exactly what happens. Hold on a minute. Hold your horses.
Oh, he's forcing the
Spearman
fight.
continuing to battle it out.
Yeah, it's So Dome Fae,
There we go.
10 people rushing this up. So Marine Lord knows the only reason he can hold here, or the only way he can hold rather, is if he can get an archer ship quickly. Problem is there's already one outpost here, so you're kind of limited around your own dock to begin with.
Yeah, not to mention that barracks is at half health now. We'll take a look at Lucifron. Obviously, he's got the imams coming through now. They'll be on the way towards the center of the map. Let's see if we can spot them out.
I feel like we're just going imam watching here. And here we see the imam in his natural habitat. Walking, healing, loving.
Imams are known to be monogamous creatures. They mate for life. And we can see the imams.
No. I'm seeing the pluses all across this formation. They are not monogamous creatures, Drongo. All right. They play the fields.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, it looks like at this point the fishing boats are going to be able to come and help out. He's going to one-shot this fishing boat. Watch out. Actually doesn't one-shot it, but he manages to throw a few torches towards its direction. Twin Minaret Madrasa thrown down on the other side by Lucifron. Obviously avoiding trade. It seems like it is definitely the lesser chosen of the two landmarks, that's for sure.
Yeah, so like Minaret Madrasa is usually just the go-to, right? Because you always, if you in a jiffy need a crap ton of food, like the gathering rates in these is kind of insane. Trade is desirable in this map, though. I'm a little bit surprised maybe Lucifron wasn't considering it, but I guess there's a big kind of strain on the water side still, right? Like he's getting early wins, but Marine Lord is now starting to extend upriver, so he might be worried that he could get pushed off of the fishing.
All right, well, speaking of getting pushed off in the fishing, take a look at this. We've got an outpost going to be coming up here. Should be blocking him off. He's got a demo ship running through. I love the fact he's just sent a couple of spearmen out here. It's like,
Do you want a premature detonation, bro? Is that
Yeah, come on. Let me help you out here. I'm just going to throw a flame on board and see how it goes.
This is
take a look at this. Your mom's just out healing the damage of the Dows.
Like,
beautiful stuff right here.
What do you do against this, Drongo?
You just smile and nod. Smile and nod. This is...
No, Drongo, this is the solution. You attack the imam that has more health than the villager. This will always work better. There's just no good option.
Then it just gets healed by the other imam.
You're right. So that's what you meant by the monogamous. Like, you know, end of the day, they might have their side pieces, but if they have to choose, they choose each other.
They're like emperor penguins, I'll tell you that much.
Sorry, is he... Are we really going there? Are we getting comic book references? You thought that you were trapping me in here with you? No. You're trapped in here with me. I'm trapped.
Yes, very much so. Demo ship making its way downtown, walking fast, just like a song from the 2000s. It looks like, unfortunately, it's about to go boom, boom, boom. We do see the dock going down on the backside as well. Marine Lord with a pretty tough spot here to play. I mean, he's chasing away enemy fishing boats, but he's losing his presence on water quickly.
Yeah. And also, this boom, boom, boom isn't going to kill the ships. It can't even get optimal damage. And on top of that, the Avenger bus is coming, right? The Spearman afterwards can just take out the docks. All of a sudden, Marine Lord is the one that loses eco permanently. Lucifron can just rebuild after this.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the fishing boats escaping to the countryside. Unfortunately, the arrow ship not able to make its way up the river. They're now going to be returning slowly and steadily. Yeah, go for it.
I was just saying, like, I think I don't think we've had a game where someone goes that far back. So I wasn't quite sure how far up the river it was possible. I'm impressed though. Like that seems like a solid plan to stop your death by demo ships. Just get all of your late game. Just get all your Baochuans, go full turtle mode, skirt them up the river. Lose one at a time. Easy peasy. These are strategies you should not employ in your games, folks.
We've got the military schools going down. I saw him on Stone, and I'm like, oh my lord, do we have a town center coming through? No, it's not. It's military schools that are coming through here for Lucifron. Obviously playing the Ottomans. He's looking to try and get into it sooner rather than later. Also picking up some upgrades. Interestingly, we see double broad axe and wheelbarrow. So a bit of a signal that he is looking to play it quite heavily in feudal. Not going to be making any stops here and going straight up to Castle Age. Just going to be chilling out.
It's quite the strain he puts on himself this play, though, right? Because now you're just exhausting a very finite resource even faster in the back of your base. So he'll have to think about some sort of extension. Worry part I have for Lucifron is, like, right now, Marine Lord's focus is south side of the river. If you look at where Lucifron's next wood line is, big wood line, it's south side as well.
Yeah, this is definitely a bit concerning. We see Marine Lord now beginning to move out with his scholars as well. So he's touching the first of the sacred sites, or about to be touching the first of the sacred sites. Sanctity is well and truly through. Efficient production's on the way in at the moment. So one of the technologies is neglected, but the spearmen are already on the sacred site, just looking to greet him.
It's like, oh yeah, I just touched it. All right, I'm going home now, guys. Please don't kill me, please. This is a long way to run. Does he have?
Has he got units up on the north sacred site as well? It looks like there's a spearman or two up there as well.
Maybe a spear, but also like yeah, spears are way in there. So
oh my.
Has he
Man,
got pied
Lucifron
in
is
the
on the ball,
scholars?
isn't he?
Like, has Marine got pied in the scholars is what I'm wondering. Because remember, his mosque was quite late.
I don't think. Well, if he's only getting efficient production now, I don't reckon there's any way he's got piety.
Well, unless he prior. Oh wow, yeah. So these scholars can be sniped really easily. They are quite cheap for him, but it's still just burning resources and not really getting much for it in return.
Yeah, this is
Oh
super
my
tough.
God, come on.
Oh lord. All right. Well, it looks like game 4 is definitely going to be on the cards here. Lucifron is just all over this game. It feels.
Yeah, I'm reminded people, right? Don't be deceived by the lack of scores. Marine Lord is in fact on match point. We haven't got a BO1 bomb burner situation. Lucifron has to win this, the next, and the next if he wants to go greet his brother in that grand finals.
And it's definitely not impossible. There's the UI.
There we go.
Wondering where that bad boy was.
We just need to get it the right way around. All right, this isn't free. If you want a free
Don't worry,
you have to cheer for the deli. That's the rule here.
All right, well, we'll get it fixed up, but don't you guys worry.
Speaking of deli, Marine Lord's getting a lot of stone right now. Like, there's no way he's thinking second. No, okay, thank God. I was gonna say that would be quite weird to like, especially with how strong the combat defender build is, to go second TC as deli.
Yeah. Second TC is Delhi at the moment. Just obviously the village fortresses are just where it's at. But we do see the first of the sacred sites slowly but steadily being secured up here. Second one as well. So he's going for the both bottom side sacred sites. Now the third sacred site. We'll worry about that later. Let's focus on this push that's coming out right now, because we've got the meta that's finally joined the battle. Has he got the movement speed bonus on these bad boys as well?
I believe so. Well, actually, are they moved? No, they're not in formation, but I think he has got the movement speed element. It's just remember, whenever they break formation, they become slow-moving slugs again.
Yes, this is true. But fortunately, he's going to be beating that drum. Numbers here looking pretty decent for Lucifron so far, despite being on the enemy side of the map. Nice little raid coming in for Marine Lord here. Going to be forcing back these villagers. And now the question is going to be, who is going to be the first one to get to Castle Age? Because Lucifron gets there, he's going to have access to the Mangonel from the MIA. Marine Lord gets there, it's going to be infinite amounts of villagers from the village fortresses.
I think Lucy could potentially rush it at this stage. His army is pretty spooky. Marine Lord's probably going to have to add more in. But like that's the classic issue. Like, you add more, I add more, right? It's like, you know, you want to go Cold War again? I've got 5 new nukes. All right, I'm going to build 10. All right, I'll build 20. There's no point at which it stops, it feels like.
Well, we have a population cap, so it'll
true.
stop at 200. But the thing about nukes is you don't have a population cap. You can make 50,000 nukes, and we're still having an arms race, baby.
I guess there's like a population cap on uranium. Like, I just don't know what the cap is. Does anyone?
As long as planets or as long as stars keep burning,
there you go.
We're gonna still have uranium. Don't worry.
Got it.
Elon Musk will work towards it. We got lots of celestial bodies to mine out there, out past Mars. I assure you.
Are you suggesting that Elon Musk's true endeavors on Mars is to set up a remote nuclear bunker?
I'm not saying that it is out of the question.
How do we know, right?
How do we know?
I'm not saying
well,
it is.
I tell you what, we might not know about that, but we definitely know about the status of this game. Lucifron is looking very solid as he continues pushing through. Keep in mind, he's got the meta here, able to provide a little bit of attack speed. The meta on the front line. Watch out, meta. Watch out. You're all there alone, and he loses it. A little bit of a mistake coming out. Imam also might get focused down. Nope. Take a look at this guy. He's getting healed up by his friend, the Monogamous, to just raising their hands in their air just like they don't care. But look at the numbers coming from Marine Lord.
And the Imam's not healing the mass now. He went around the other side of the tree line. So this is a really good fight from Marine Lord. Not just sniping the meta, but also the way that the Imam was thrown under the bus. Just great identification by M-Lord. And look what's happening behind this Drongo. He's going to be the first to crack Castle Age. Lucifron still doesn't have the resources.
Yeah, once this Castle Age comes through, we can see him slowly but steadily putting that bad boy up. It's going to be so difficult for Lucifron. Sure, the numbers of archers that he's got here are solid, but at the end of the day, once you've got lancers that are starting to take down your units, I mean, it doesn't even matter at that point, but we've got the MIA in on the other side. Now the question is, who does this start to favor as we enter this Castle Age phase?
I mean, this is the problem, right? Like, you know, you'd feel good about the Ottomans getting free siege added in. There's still the meta threat that Marino can't really address because he doesn't have TOV. But how do you bet against Compound Defender? The moment this completes, Lucifron is going to know he's the one on the clock, all right? The Doomsday clock is ticking down for him to the nuclear apocalypse. He has to end the game in 5 to 8 minutes, or Emerald's going to have 5, 6 keeps dotted around the map that are booming his eco up off the back of the villager production.
And then he hits Imperial Age at 20 minutes and makes all of the rams.
Yeah, because it's the only thing you can get quick enough as the Deli in Imperial Age. Woo!
I was impressed. Genuinely, that game that I watched from Crackety, I know he's here at the moment. That game I watched from Crackety where he had like 20 scholars, those technologies come through pretty quickly. We could see something out from Marine Lord here. Obviously going for not as many scholars this game, but it is an option.
It's crazy to think about how that number works, right? Like, if you get Dome of Faith, 65 gold each, 20 scholars, that's only going to be 1,300 gold. Now, that sounds like a lot, but when you think about...
It's really not.
No, not when it's like you're producing one every 45 seconds. So your expenditure is like, you know, what, 80, 85 gold a minute? That's 2 villages.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad at all, but take a look at this. He's got 5 relics in his possession currently.
Oh, he's so good at
Marine
this.
Lord, he is greedy as greedy gets.
Marine Lord
the Wallalol does come down.
He's the true Smeagol of AoE 4. I've never seen someone so consistently as the Deli immediately yoink every single relic on the map. He's a master of this.
Yeah, it's one of my rules that I tell people. It's like, if you're playing the Deli, as soon as you age up, you just want to hear bing, 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 5 relics all getting yoinked. And he does it flawlessly. Really well played.
Yeah. Another thing, if you want to master the Deli, just basically download Marino's replays and watch them. He really is so impressive. Just across different patches, he always just comes back to the Civ in competitive, even after a break playing fighting games for a month or 2 at a time, and still manages to destrominate people. Destrominate because dominate and destruction, like, on their own, are not enough to define what this man does.
Destrominate sounds like it could be a word. Like, I feel like it's... I'm trying to think of the word that they use in The Simpsons. You know, the one that they're like, that's a very cromulent word.
Oh, yeah. Like, it reminds me of my early days of casting where I actually used the word desperosity a lot.
Desperosity. You can tell he's just exuding desperosity here.
Yeah, but because I'm English, right? I mean, my people create the language. Surely I know it. Wink, wink. Oh, jeez. But this is the TC play we've seen before, by the way. This actually happened. I believe it was in the Marine Lord Vortex game with this matchup on this map. You were talking about the possibility earlier, and just like in that game, it was onto that deer stack. But just like in that game, it was a vulnerable extension that Marine Lord can exploit.
And I think the difficult spot that Lucifron's going to have is, yeah, sure, he throws down 1 TC on the deer. Are you going to be able to keep up with the 6 keeps from Marine Lord? That's going to be the big question here, because he'll be scaling into the late game very, very quickly.
Hear me out. Like, can you be able to keep up with his tech timers? I mean, what is Marine Lord doing with all this food? He's either going to feed the world, or maybe Imperial Age, maybe Unlimited Nights. Like, it feels like he can just do whatever he wants at this stage. I'm impressed by that number.
It is a lot of food. You're not wrong. That's a crazy amount of food that he's stacking up right here.
Well, this is all good. Lucifron needs that food. Look at his bank right now. Look at his income.
Yeah, Lucifron's sitting on 8 food at the moment compared to Marine Lord, who is a very happy hippo at this point in time. Keep going to be dropped down. And remember, with these keeps, it's going to make it very difficult for Lucifron to be able to push his opponent. There's not a lot of siege that's in his army.
Okay,
the closest thing he's going to have is a Mangonel.
Where do your spearmen come from here if you're an Ottoman player? Is it not from the center of the map where you built your racks? Well, he's going in for the Juggernaut.
It would be.
Is he actually going to try to end the... He needs to build rams. The only way he could end this game quick enough is if he builds rams here.
I knew it. I knew we'd see it. I've been calling for it since the start. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely like it feels a little bit all in coming in from this position. At the same time, Marine Lord's actually got a ram of his own. I think he's had this one for quite some time, though.
Oh, yeah. That's been like the team mascot since almost the beginning of the game. He's been a good boy, you know. You tell him fetch, he goes and picks him up an outpost and brings it back to you. It's amazing. Dude, these Lancers, how many have they killed?
20 vills so far. He is relentless with these Lancers. He's doing great work. And hold on a minute. Here we go. Men-at-Arms looking to tank up on the front line. Lancers looking to try and maneuver around the outside of the base, seeing if he can get some charges off. He's going to be able to find it. Not a whole lot of spears here to defend this. The Lancers I don't know exactly what the upgrade numbers are looking like. He's got +2 ranged
losing
armor.
this.
That's going to help him out a huge amount. I think Marine Lord holds. I think we go, this is it.
This is looking like it is it. Remember, Marine Lord is on match point. If he wins this, Lucifron is out, will not make his resurgence into the grand finals for 2 rounds in a row. And you have the question mark, how the hell do you stop this madman, this Frenchman? The onslaught continues. Behind this, he's building additional keeps to TC boom up. And the Ottomans are about to lose their army.
Keep in mind the resources that he's got stacked up enable him to go to Imperial, but he's not even going to need it. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 quick games of Marine Lord head straight through to the grand finals.
Lucifron, he'll have to say, good luck, bro. Tear in his eye, avenge me, because it looks like it is going to be a rematch of our upper bracket finals. It's going to be Vortex versus Marine Lord in that grand finals in a best of 7.
Wow. Well, that was a quick series. It was a good series. These guys are closely matched. But I got to say, Marine Lord was looking like he woke up on the right side of the bed today. That was a pretty solid performance from him.
I'm so impressed by Marine Lord. Like, really big shout out to him. The turnabout, right? Like, he went out earlier than people expected. He got caught off guard by B in round 1. I think I'm allowed to say that without him being stung by it, because he's the one doing the stinging here. Yes, B may have it in his name, but the boy that is leaving an ouchie on people right now is M Lord. That was an absolute dismantling of our number 1 player from round 1. And I really mean that to the highest extent. Like, game 1, game 2, we talked about Marine Lord's utilization of zonal control. You come into game 3, and instead, he just finds a way of dealing with the zonal control from the other side, right? Because all those spearmen, the outposts as well. He essentially finds a way of negotiating new territories to exist on that river, where most players would have had to have forfeited entirely. It was incredible to watch.